Hi everyone, how you doing today? I hope everyone's had a great day. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm going to talk about a trip that me and my youngest daughter just went on. Um, that was really for me, and so I appreciate the fact that she did go along with me. We went back to where we originally were from in Pennsylvania, and the reason for that trip was because my class of 1973, rather than having a reunion, decided to slip in a 70th birthday party for all of us turning 70 this year. And I thought it was a great idea. And again, I live in California, so it's a distance. And I just thought, what a wonderful idea because as we keep moving along here, unfortunately, we do get updates when a classmate that we had has passed. And so, what better than to go and celebrate our 70th birthday party and get to see some of these people and, possibly for the last time? It was exciting. It was fun. We had a lot of activities going on. My best friend that I talk about occasionally on this show, this channel, actually was having her birthday that same weekend. So we also had a party at a relative's of hers, and we invited a lot of people. He said it was okay, and we did. I invited all of my family because this was a short trip. We didn't arrive there until 2 o'clock. We left on Thursday, but we didn't arrive until 2 o'clock Friday morning. And we had all day Friday night, all day Saturday to do all these parties and get togethers and meet people. And then we left at like 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So I really only had a couple days there, which was it could have been longer. We both agreed on that, but then we have other things going on, so we had to get back. And it was great. It was great for all of us. So the first thing that happened is on our way in the morning, we had to drop off my daughter's two youngest her younger granddaughters to school because it was their first day of school and she didn't want to miss it, and I don't blame her for that one little bit. So I got up extra early, like 4 o'clock in the morning, to get ready to do this, and then travel to the LA airport to take off. And so we met at her house. I left my car there. She drove. We dropped the kids off at school. We took pictures and had all that kind of fun stuff, telling them good luck and congratulations. It was the best. And then we headed out to the LA airport. Now, the one thing that my daughter had discovered, and she uses it all the time when she does travel for work, is a valet service at the airport. And LA airport is not a fun airport. Anybody that lives out here, they know what I'm talking about. If you've never been to LA airport, it is just not fun. So what we do is you have to call 10 minutes ahead. You already have this prearranged, mind you. And then you call them 10 minutes and tell them you're going to be there, and they meet you right in front of the gate that you're departing from. You give them your keys and you just go inside. You're done. That's it. Simple as that. And I love it, and she loves it. So that's the way she rolls. We get in there and uh, we go through the check line, the TSA, or, you know, and I get pulled out of line. Now, this just happened to me. I just went to Washington, D.C. for a wedding in April, and my suitcase got pulled. And I only had an overnight one because, again, that was just a couple day trip. And so I only had a carry on, I mean. And that one got pulled, and I didn't know. I haven't traveled in a while. I didn't know that I had to take my laptop out of my computer. So I kind of got reprimanded for that. Okay, I deserved it. I got it. So, I had to go back in line and take that computer and put it in a different basket and let it go down. So then this time I got pulled out of line again. And I was like, what the heck? I don't get it. So I had already, was just getting close to that point where you have to raise your hands, spread your feet, and raise your hands. But they pulled me out just before I went in there. And she said, because now you don't have to take your shoes off anymore. Well, she told me I needed to take my shoes off, which was mortifying only because I had sandals. I didn't wear socks. And, just the thought of walking on that floor just makes me cringe. But I have to do what they ask. So I had to go back in that line, take my shoes off, put them down separate, then come back to her for her to just say, okay. I was like, okay, whatever. It really didn't matter to me at all because I don't have any reason to be worried about anything. So we get to our destination, and we were very, very fortunate that my brother, oldest brother, who lives in another part of Pennsylvania, actually bought a condo there. So he told us we were more than welcome to stay there, which, we did. And it was going to be my daughter and I, and then my best friend, who was also coming with her husband from Arizona. They called and said, is there any possible way we can stay with you? Well, of course they can. I mean, really. Am I going to say no to my best friend? Absolutely not. I would never even think about that. So they got there actually a day before us. So they were already there. And we came in. We didn't get in, like I said, till 2 o'clock in the morning. They were already there, and they were awake still, waiting for us, and that was nice. So we sat around, talked to them till about 3, but we were exhausted, so we went to sleep. The next day, on Friday, my niece and her husband, that lives in Washington D.C., they said, we're going to drive up. We want to see you. Well, of course, we're excited as all get out. Yes, definitely come up. We felt bad though because we had taken up all the room and it's her dad's condo. But fortunately, my younger brother who lives there, he said, hey, just stay at my house. And so that's what they did. But we had a great time. We went and sat by the pool. I'm still a little bit red from sitting down there by the pool, but I loved it. The weather was gorgeous the whole entire time we were there. And then we went to that night to where this birthday party for us 70-year-olds was being held. I haven't been back for the last couple reunions, mostly because of distance and mostly because I was working. So this was a good opportunity. And it was so nice. I saw a lot of the people that I really was hoping would be there, and they all were there. And I was so excited to see them and so excited to sit down and have conversations with them and try and catch up on these last few years because, other than what you see on Facebook, you don't really know. And it was great. There was a few people that weren't there that I was really hoping to, mostly my old neighbors, people that were from my old neighborhood that went to school. Few of them weren't there, and so that was kind of sad. But for the most part, it was a whole evening of talk, 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 talk. I just walked from table to table, or I sat, and new people joined us, and we continued conversations. But what a great idea that was. That was really a good idea, and I really appreciate the people who put that on in our school to think of something like that. We ended up having like 61 people, which I thought was a great turnout for something that was just spur of the moment and basically pay as you go. You buy your own drinks, buy your own dinner, but we got the place. So hold on one second. I get really dry mouthed when I talk. So um, then we went from that, and then a bunch of us still weren't ready to go home. I mean, once I'm out for the evening. I'm usually always the last one to leave, and so we went from there, and we went to one of the bars. Went to one of those bars, and ran into some other people there, and it was just a great night. We didn't get in till 3 o'clock in the morning, mind you. So I'm sure we were all feeling pretty good by that time. And we had to get up the next morning by 9, and again, we had people coming over, and we went out and sat by the pool for a little bit again, and um, tried to catch up on family stuff, and then on that Saturday, then we had to get up and get ready. And my brother, who is just amazing, stayed with me the whole entire time. My youngest brother, he picked me up everywhere, and we did rent a car, oh, which I didn't tell you about. So we rented an Audi, A6, I think they called it, and we're trying to leave the Cleveland airport to drive into town, and we could not get that GPS to connect to either one of our phones. She had an iPhone, I had a regular Android. We couldn't get it to connect, we couldn't get it to go. I haven't lived in Erie for 35 years, so I don't know my way, from Cleveland to Erie anymore, even though it's really one road. But, we needed the GPS to work, so that was the other problem. But she went out on her own, and then, like I said, we ran into her. So that morning, my brother again, he showed up, bright and early, when I told him to. Of course, I wasn't ready. You know how typical that is of women. I wasn't ready, so but I told him, I can put my makeup and everything on out here at the kitchen table. I don't need to be in another room and let you sit out here by yourself. So we had lots of conversations. We learned a lot more about each other. Even though all of us brothers and sisters are close, we're not very good at communicating. It is a shame, because we should have been better at it, but we're not. So I don't talk to them all that much, and so it was kind of. It didn't take long, of course, for us to get right back how we were when we were kids, and just talk and talk and talk. Because boy, between him and me, we can talk. So we learned a lot of new things about each other, and some trials and tribulations in our lives that we didn't know about, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was just very bonding, very very warm feeling. And and then we went to Maggie's relative, who was having the birthday party for her, and we went to the property. It was a really large property, so we were able to park all of our cars in a row, just like it was a parking lot almost. And they had many tables and chairs all set up, and a lot of the people that I really wanted to talk more to from the reunion, or the 70th birthday party for the school, they showed up too. So I had plenty of time to talk to them. And my other friend that I've been best friends with since we were in second grade, she grew up in my neighborhood. She also came, and she came in from Florida. So it was really nice. So we all sat at one big table, and we were able to really go back in time for quite a while. We stayed for a good 4 or 5, 6 hours at this house. And I just had the time of my life. It was just being able to find out what other people are doing, what they're up to, what's going on. How have they been? Even to hear about their families, everything. It was the most exciting thing for me. So then I stayed till the end because, like I said, this was my best friend Maggie. It was her birthday party that day. And so my brother and his wife took off, and I said, I'll go back with Maggie and Billy to the condo since we're all staying together. And so I stayed and listened to her conversation with her relatives, and they're very funny, very sweet, very nice family. So we had a great time. I was really tired by the time we left, but we got home and still sat up and talked. We talk every night on Messenger, but I don't know, we still have to talk all night. And then we went to bed, and then, of course, I had to get up early to start getting ready to go to the airport then. And so we got that going. My daughter and I leave then, and we go to the Cleveland airport again. We get in line again, and I go through. My suitcase goes through again. You didn't have to take your shoes off, so I go through, hold my hands up, and the guy waves me to come back out, and then he holds his hand up and says, "You need to stop." And I said, okay. So I stopped. I'm very obedient. And I said, is it my shoes again? I said, because my shoes, this happened to me when I was coming this way. And he said, it's not your shoes. We have to do a knee check. Hey, if any of you know what a knee check is, I mean, I can tell you what happened, but what is that? I mean, we tried to even Google it and we couldn't get any idea of what a knee check was. So I had to stand there until a woman officer came over, and she says, do you mind if I touch you? Do you have a problem with that? And I said, no, And she goes, well, I'm going to kneel down because I'm going to be touching your knees. And I thought, boy, I did hear that right, because at first I didn't think I heard it right. And sure enough, all she did was she patted my knees on both legs and said, okay. And, we walked away. I didn't understand it. I have never had a knee surgery. So I don't have any metal in my knees. I don't have anything in my knees. I actually had on even tight jeans, so I'm not even sure what I have no idea. I would love to know if anybody out there knows what the heck a knee check is. I don't I don't get it. I don't know. So my daughter, of course, is just laughing. She's like, "Mom, what the heck?" And I said, "I don't know. I have never ever been stopped in an airport in my entire life, and now this is the third time they have stopped me. So I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why. I just don't." So, anyways, I had a knee check, whatever that is. And then, of course, we had to get back to LA and then travel in that traffic, which was an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to probably go maybe 30 minutes or 30 miles away. But that's what you do when you live here. So it was no big deal. But then when I got to her house, I told her I'm not coming in. I'm just going to head right home. And I live an hour away from her, so then I had to get in my car and drive the other hour home and get home. And then I unpacked, and of course I realized I left a few couple things in that condo, just chargers, just cords, no big deal. I could care less. So, uh, all in all, it was just a great 4 days. Even though two of it was spent traveling, it was still something that I haven't had that much that much joy. I have a lot of joy, but I haven't had that much joy in a long time. And so, if any of my friends out there in that area or that were there at my 70th birthday party that now know I have this channel, if you're out there, thanks for being my friends. Thanks for showing up and sitting down and having conversations the way we did. Uh, I felt the love, and I love you all. So that's how it went all weekend, and it was beautiful. So if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And until the next one, bye.